Thank you very much, QuickShot, as I'm still joined here by Sheepy of the Unicorns of Love. Very interesting from there from Forgiven. Yeah. If you're good in the team, then you'll be able to instill fear in your opponents. Yeah. Is that your philosophy towards why you should get along in a team as well?
I think it's displaying really well how they go on about the game. They play very aggressive. They keep pushing bot lane. They keep pushing top lane. They keep pressure all the time, and they want to instill fear. They want to show that they are strong, and I think this is right now as well how SK is getting wins.
On the counterpart, he also said Elements, I don't think they were playing to win. I think they were playing not to lose, and that actually came forward in the picks and bans as well for you.
Yeah, Elements picked a rather passive team comp. Like, none of the lanes could really win. Morgana, once she reaches like level 7, level 9, she will just instantly push top lane all the time. Same for bot lane, and Zed is kind of farm matchup against Orianna. Both have... Orianna can bully Zed pretty hard, but if, like Forgiven said, if they didn't have the jungle pressure, then Orianna can just sit back and farm it. So SK got really ahead in the early game, kept pushing it, and yeah, got win after win after win, advantage after advantage, and snowballed the game from there on.
Yeah, let's actually take a look at one of those big wins they got, one of the team fights in mid for SK, successful, and for Element, it just wasn't time to fight yet, even though they almost get a pick.
Yeah, you see here, they are coming from the side. Elements, with the Orianna ball, want to have a perfect setup where they can zone the backline, and then the first peel with the Thresh Lantern, they go back, Morgana gets the backline. They are all over them. Orianna can't even get the ultimate off, and afterwards 2 free pickoffs and a lot of low HP.
So this is obviously an example of a part in the game where Elements wasn't strong enough to fight back. What were the routes they could take from that point on Elements to try and get back in the game?
Elements should have started turtling or just try to go for a catch. They had like the Lee Sin pickup, which I think they wanted to have for the early game pressure. It didn't work out too well. The lanes were so strong at some point that Lee Sin couldn't get the ganks off. So I think that either way they started turtling, make side waves push all the time and try to get some vision on the Nashor and stall it out, because the team comp on paper, if they have the right setup and can zone the backline with the Orianna ultimate, is really, really strong. Maokai tanky, Jinx, we saw it in the NA as well.
Yeah.
It's just such an incredibly strong ADC, and yeah, if it comes to late game, anything could have happened there.
Yeah, but SK decided differently. We actually have a replay of that as well. They weren't afraid to go in, and the moment they saw an opportunity or a half one, they jumped on it.
Yeah, Zed split pushing on the side, decided to come from the mid, and Svenskeren flashing in, being so incredibly aggressive. Fox, really nice play here. Flashes over, ultimates, and gets like the E on like 3 people, jumps back, and meanwhile the Thresh already died. He pops the Jinx, which is really, really nice, and yeah, went so aggressive when they had a side wave to push and could just chase them after. But it just shows you how SK is playing. They look for the team fights. They see, okay, in the mid game our advantage is so huge that we just go for this team fight, and yeah, they from this point on just snowballed through, and I think they picked off an inhibit from this. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then in the end they won. We do have to touch on Elements as well. A couple of questionable calls in there, and before that we heard the comms of the team and how Krepa was bringing that decisiveness. Here I really saw in a couple of instances, one thing I remember is above Baron, where they kind of set up for Baron, but they did, and the TP came in late. Kind of a day and night difference.
Yeah, I thought there would be more coordination now that Krepa's as well in the team. TPs were used, and they didn't have pressure from this point on. From the top side, Morgana could always TP in, so this was something they could have really emphasized more, the TP play. And they warded out, sometimes went too aggressive, and yeah, in the end, lost the game because they made too many mistakes and not enough coordination to actually come back, which is so important if you go for this very heavy team fight comp.
Yeah, they'll have a lot to remedy and have a couple of replays to look at going into next week. Coming up in just a few minutes, we have a clash between Gambit and Roccat. Roccat leads the head-to-head after a win way back in week 1. We've been seeing a completely different Gambit gaming recently, so stay with us and see what happens.
Or whenever you're dead in a fight, you become the shot caller, you know, because you see more than we do.
What if you never die?
Then you're not the shot caller. This is why you made me the shot caller, because I die a lot.
The shockwave taking him down, but Krepo's the one that gets the kill. Now, however, SK looking for revenge. Here we go, Deathmark is on, Shook is popped, and a whole lot of shots fired after the fact. Freddy, though, is not keen to let this one go. Froggen, he's the target, and Rated is going to be the one taking him down.
Stunned him.
I go for Reckless, I go for Reckless. Right, he's Orianna flashed out.
Mauka here, Mauka behind.
Marker behind. Look away, away. Good job. Let's go in.
SK Gaming, I guess they got the swagger back.